6 championships. This is Brands Hatch. This is Hottrax Motorsport.
So it's a big warm welcome here to Brands Hatch in Kent for round one of the Hottrax Motorsport show. Boy, do we have some racing lined up for you. Well, the weather conditions could not be better or worse, depends on which way you like to look at it. It's quite drizzly, it's quite damp and it's quite cold. Tyre choice is going to be a big issue for these boys. However, a man that knows all about the sport is James Brennan, and he's down on the line.
Michelin Power Cup 600s. This is one of the single tyre series that we have here running at Hottrax Motorsport. On pole should be Danny Imberg, number 77. He is rolling up to the grid. Second, and Catherine's young man, that's Danny Imberg on the number 17 machine. If we follow us down to number 69, Sean Moore had some very, very good races yesterday, to say the least. Then out on the inside, and hopefully going to make it first into the corner, number 60 of Nick Green in his trademark raid leathers.
Thank you, James. Two Danny Imbergs, eh? Twin brother.
Slight beginner's nerves there, I'm afraid, Kenny. Yes, 77 Grant Wagstaff, who you just saw on the start as they head down into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time of asking. And, well, coming up straight away, it looks to me that Danny Imberg takes the lead in this Michelin Power Cup with Hottrax Motorsport.
Well, Danny, no slouch to racing. He's been around a few years and raced in a few different classes. Pretty good rider, got to say that. How will he cope with these slippery conditions, James?
Well, it looks like he's coping pretty well so far. Grant Wagstaff just in there, and I think that's Nick Green in that third place on the number 60 machine. And still holding their own, as we see Danny for the first time of asking, entering clear ways. Everybody looking a bit tentative, though. See Mark and Peter Dilks there on the number 85 machine as well. Doing our line up at the front, Kenny.
Well, it was Wagstaff that was on pole. He's hanging on to the leader at the moment, Danny Imberg. It'll be interesting to see if these two can swap places. But they're here coming back up to Druids again. It's the same two, and it looks like Wagstaff's having a look up the inside, and he's made that stick. Is he going to hold it? Yes, he has held it. Well, the track's beginning to dry out, James, but it's still quite slippery in certain parts.
Very, very slippery indeed. That looks like one of the CBR 600 machines of Dilks. And again, it looks like Danny Imberg's just starting to put a little bit of pressure back now. And we can also see the number 69 machine there in that third position of Sean Moore as well. And Sean very much holding that. But, well, certainly the battle very much at the front of this field.
Well, these 600 bikes, you say Sean Moore on the 69 bike, with the 185 of Mark Dilks on Honda CBR 600RR. Good selection of machinery out there, but look at these two going at it side by side. Well, in Imberg, he's learned his lessons around the racetracks over the years. And he won't take no nonsense from someone else.
It's a classic overtaking move, that, isn't it? Just hard on the brakes into Paddock Hill Bend, then just let off and slick it in. There we go, side by side again, this time into Druids. Grant Michael's having a look. Oh, that's a bit of a close one, but Danny Imberg still out in front on the number 17 machine.
Michelin tyres being wiped clean on that corner, I think. So far, fingers crossed, we've had nobody bite the gravel track or the dust, but maybe speaking too soon. I usually that look, I think it was 256. That's Simon Baisley.
Yep, that's correct. Simon Baisley just running at the latter half of the pack on this one, so got a bit of work to do. But now Danny Imberg just starting to stretch his lead, clearly getting used to the conditions at Brands Hatch this weekend.
Yeah, Danny on the PLI Consultants No Limits Kawasaki ZX6R. Whoa! And what was I saying about too soon?
Well, tell me about it. Again, that's a classic rear-end loss coming out of the fairways. Oh, well, that's one of our newcomers who's just gone down there, unfortunately. But he's up okay, and, yep, he's going to go and check over the bike. He won't be able to return to that one, though, Kenny.
Synchronised crashing. And the leaders are still the same. It's Imberg out front, number 17, still being pursued by Grant Wagstaff on the Duke's Cross Racing bike. Not sure what the bike is.
Well, that one looks to be the ZX6R. That looks like the number 85 machine, 185, the Mark Dilks. Just getting ahead of one of his fellow competitors at Druids. Nice keen under the brakes, overtaking over.
73 there, that's Andy Allsop on the Yamaha. As the rest come charging through 5 there, Paul Baker, sorry.
Close enough. Paul Barker. Looks like we're both getting
You're
names
quite right,
mixed up today.
yeah. Oh, we got another one. It's almost exciting. That, I think, was either 31 or 37 going there. You've got to see the numbers he rotated.
Well, that was Emmett Burke, unfortunately, taking a tumble at the XKK race. So it looks like the last lap flag has now come out. So Danny Inberg still out there in front, leading for this final lap. And, well, that's the Peter Dilks getting very squirrely under brakes, followed in by the number 73 machine. Slightly further down the road. Is that 75 Mr. Anthony Park, I wonder?
Yes, Mr. Parker there, just waggling his toe boot. Another guy, but it's Inberg, 17, who has stamped his authority all over this first race, the 600s. And no change between the first two as they pass the crash bikes and head towards checkered flag number 1 of the day. And here it is. Danny Inberg on the Kawasaki takes gold and points.
Good run there, and looks like Grant Lagstaff coming up to congratulate the winner. So, well, that's our inaugural Michelin Power Cup race done and dusted for what is this morning's race. So I think we'll be looking forward to seeing them back out. A quick wave to the crowd, a bit of a thumbs up there as well.
Yeah, Danny clearly happy with that result. Let's confirm then the finishing places. Danny Inberg takes the win from Grant Wagstaff. Sean Moore, Peter Dilks, Adrian Allshot and Paul Barker. Sorry, Paul, got your name right this time, finishing out the top 6.